What's going on, guys? My name is COD TRENCHER and welcome to my very first video here on the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can prepare for Call of Duty World War II. Now, as I'm recording this video, it's about 6 days before Call of Duty World War II fully releases, but by the time this video is uploaded, it'll be about 4 days until Call of Duty World War II fully releases. So that gives you guys plenty of time to actually watch this video and learn some tips and tricks that will make you good on day one. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. First, we're going to be reviewing the weapons that were actually in the beta, and then second, we're going to be reviewing the basic trainings, which are basically just like perks from any other Call of Duty game in World War II. So our first assault rifle, we have the M1941. This weapon makes up for its lack of damage, range, and accuracy with its impressive fire rate, which is the fastest among all three assault rifles. The M1941, however, definitely isn't as good as the other fully automatic assault rifles available in this class, which basically means this weapon doesn't really do good with damage, range, or accuracy, but it does have a very good fire rate, probably better than any other assault rifle in the game as of right now. And I will be showing pictures up on the screen for you guys, just to let you guys, or just to show you guys what the weapons look like in game. And the next assault rifle we have is the M1 Garand, which is actually one of my favorite weapons from the World War II era. And the M1 Garand is a classic World War II weapon that many Call of Duty fans will recognize from previous titles, including World at War. This semi-automatic marksman rifle has the highest damage and range statistics in the class, and if you have a good trigger finger, this is definitely a weapon that you should try out. So, personally for me, I don't like semi-automatic weapons in any Call of Duty, but this still is one of my favorite guns from the World War II era, and I can pretty much handle these kinds of weapons in campaign, and I can mostly stand them in multiplayer. But it really depends on the weapon, and I believe this is one of the weapons that many of you guys should really try out, because I believe in the beta it was like a 3-hit kill, or maybe even a 2-hit, or I think it was a 2-hit before, but then they made it a 3-hit. I can't remember, but it was really good, I'll tell you that. But I don't know if they're gonna keep that in the full release, but we'll actually see. But it does have the highest damage and range statistics in the class, like it said. So, as far as we can tell right now, it's better than the M1941. So the next assault rifle we have is the STG-44. Once players have reached level 14 in the World War II beta, they can unlock the STG, which is by far the best assault rifle currently available. Statistically, it looks fairly even to the M1941, but in-game it definitely doesn't feel that way. The STG should be your weapon of choice if you want to use a fully automatic assault rifle, which I do agree with that. The STG-44 was actually one of the best guns in the game, especially I believe towards the beginning of the beta, like day 1 I believe, and especially if you use the lens sight, it's a really good weapon. And especially with rapid fire, I believe, it increases the fire rate, which is really good. And I believe the last assault rifle we have is the M1A1 Carbine, which this is also another one of my favorite guns that I used during the beta. I don't exactly remember it back in any other games. I think it was in World at War, but I never played World at War. But it says, "We've been waiting a long time for this gun to be back in a Call of Duty game. Fans of World at War will remember the M1A1 Carbine, mainly because it was one of the best guns in the game. Far in the World War II beta, this gun follows that trend. If you have a quick trigger finger and an accurate shot, the semi-automatic assault rifle is perfect for you." So I do remember whenever I used this in the beta, it was really good, especially if you had an accurate shot. Now with any semi-automatic weapon, accuracy really counts. And especially with automatic weapons with ridiculous recoil, that also counts towards really being good with that weapon is accuracy and being able to actually control that recoil. But like I said, in the beta, this gun was actually really good, and I think headshots were really good too with it. And I think it was like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 hits to the head for a full kill. But yeah, so now we move on to the SMG class. So the first SMG we have is the grease gun. The grease gun seems to be the ugly duckling in this weapon class, as the PPSH-41 and the Type 100 just outclass it in all areas. Statistically, the grease gun has the highest accuracy but lowest fire rate of the current SMGs. This gun can be used effectively in extremely close quarters gunfights, but other than that, we recommend using one of the other 2 SMGs. So, the grease gun, as you guys can see on the screen right now, it kind of looks like a broken down MP40. Basically, that's what it looks like. Whenever I used this in the beta, it was really good too, especially as a starter gun, and it actually did pretty well. But I do agree with the people who wrote this article that the grease gun wasn't really one of the best SMGs you could have used in the beta, but it was a pretty good starter weapon. And so next we have the PPSH-41, which was another one of the good weapons in the beta, and I actually max ranked this gun. It was really good. The PPSH-41 definitely seems like the strongest SMG when it comes to close quarter gunfights. Its fast fire rate and high damage statistics help prove that it can be a successful weapon, especially on smaller maps, like Point Du Hoc. We highly recommend trying the PPSH if you like shredding through lines of enemies in the blink of an eye. I'm sorry if I'm really messing up on these sentences, guys. It's been a while since I've recorded a video. I think it was like in summer the last time I recorded a video, so it's been a while for me. But the PPSH, like I said, it was a really good weapon in the beta, and it just literally shredded. Like, even if you attached a suppressor onto the PPSH, it was still just shredding it like it was paper, guys. And the next, and I believe, nope, okay. The next SMG we have is the Type 100. While the PPSH appears to be the strongest close-range SMG, the Type 100 might be the all-around best weapon in this class. But you can use it at all ranges, but especially at longer distances, mainly because the Type 100 has the highest range statistic in the SMG class. Right now, it seems like the Type 100 is one of the strongest and most versatile SMGs in World War II. Now, the Type 100 is personally one of my favorite SMGs in the World War II era, along with the PPSH. But it was a really good weapon to use in the beta. It was really good at long range distances, although I didn't really use it at long range that much. But it did better in long range gun. Okay, my cat's scratching on my wall, but it did do really good at long range gun battles. It did pretty good in close range battles too, but not as good as the PPSH. So if you guys play the World War II full release day 1, I really would recommend the Type 100 as a must-use gun. And I believe this is the final SMG, which is the WW2, as you guys can see here on the screen. It was another one of my favorites, which it actually looks like the Trencher from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which is one of the DLC weapons they brought in to Infinite Warfare. This weapon was added to the World War II beta on Saturday, August 26th, and it's already one of the most powerful SMGs in the game. The WW2 has the fastest fire rate in the SMG class, which allows users to destroy anyone in extremely close quarters gunfights. The high recoil makes it difficult to win medium to long range engagements, but this gun becomes a melt machine when you're in your opponent's face. Now, this is another weapon that does really good at close quarters, and it was another weapon that I believe I maxed out, and I mainly used it on close quarters maps. And sorry, I accidentally hit my guitar. But yeah, oh, okay, yeah, we still have one more SMG, which is another SMG that they added late into the beta, which is the M1928, which you guys can see here on screen, which it's basically the Thompson. So longtime Call of Duty fans will recognize this gun as the Thompson from World at War. This weapon has an extremely fast fire rate, much like the WW2 and PPSH-41, which makes it deadly up close but difficult to control for long-range gunfights. We found the most success using this gun with a silencer, just to help reduce the recoil a little bit. Now, this is actually one of the weapons that I didn't get a chance to use, and that's mainly because I didn't really have time to play the beta anymore because of work. But from what I saw on YouTube videos and everything, and people doing reviews on this gun, it was actually a really good weapon, and as it says, at close range, not very long range, but it actually was a really good weapon from what I heard. And now we move on to the LMGs, and we start with the Lewis. Statistically, the Lewis doesn't jump off the page at prospective users. It does, however, have the highest accuracy statistic in the LMG class. For long-time Call of Duty fans, this weapon looks eerily similar to the DP-28 from World at War, which, again, I never played World at War, so I don't really know what kind of references they're going to be making, unless it's a gun that I've heard from, or that I've seen in other games. But as you guys can see here on the screen, this is what the Lewis looks like. And it actually looks like a pretty good LMG. I never use LMGs really in any Call of Duty game, although there were 2 instances where I have used LMGs in Call of Duty games, which was in Black Ops 3 and in Infinite Warfare. But other than that, I don't really use LMGs in any Call of Duty game, but I believe when World War II fully releases, I probably will use LMGs. But yeah, so the next LMG we have is the MG15. As you guys can see here on screen, it actually looks pretty cool. The MG15 makes up for its low damage statistic, which is with its class-leading fire rate. This gun also has the most amount of bullets in one clip compared to the other LMGs, which helps those who can use spray and pray tactics, or which helps those who can use spray and pray tactics. Oh gosh. The MG15 can be a lot of fun to use in-game in the right situations. So I don't, like I said, I don't really have much to say on the LMGs, but if you are an LMG player, whenever the full release comes out, it would just be good for you to try out all the other LMGs and just see which one fits for you, along with any other basic training that I recommend once we get to the basic training part. The next LMG that we have is the Bren, which I think I do remember this from some of the older PS2 Call of Duty games that I used to play. But other than that, I'm not really sure. But the Bren seems like the LMG of choice in this beta. Despite having the slowest fire rate, it leads all LMGs in damage and range. And this gun offers a nostalgic feeling to those who played World at War, since the Bren closely resembles the Type 99. So again, I don't know what it's referencing to, although I feel like I've heard the weapon name Type 99 before. And so we move on to the sniper rifle classes, which I actually did use. I think I used all 3 of the sniper rifles that were in there. So the first sniper rifle we have is the CARBINE. I believe that's how you pronounce it. The CARBINE could be a good sniper rifle for anyone with a quick trigger finger. The sniper definitely isn't as strong as the Commonwealth, but you can fire more rounds in rapid succession since it's a semi-automatic weapon. And I mainly use snipers on the new war mode that they introduced into Call of Duty World War II, which is basically different from any game mode we've ever seen in any Call of Duty game ever. And it's actually a really good game mode, and I'm interested to see what other maps they have in the full release. The next sniper rifle we have is the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth seems like a typical World War II style sniper rifle. This bolt-action rifle is extremely powerful from long distances, and it's very accurate. But make sure you hit your shots. If you miss, you'll be vulnerable until you're ready to fire another bullet. So this is another really good sniper that I used in the beta. mainly on war mode. I never use these on like team deathmatch or anything. I mainly just use them in one of the parts where you had to build the bridge in war mode. But this sniper did do really good with damage. Oh gosh, sorry for the voice crack, guys. And the next, and I believe final sniper rifle we have is the M1903, which is another really good one, and I believe they added this in last minute to the beta, I think. But the newest sniper rifle added to this beta also has the highest damage and range statistics in this weapon class. The M1903 is an extremely powerful bolt-action sniper rifle with very minimal recoil. We highly recommend using this weapon if you consider yourself a long-range specialist. And it did really good with damage, which as it says, and it did really good with range. Especially if you got a headshot, it would be just an automatic kill. No hit markers like it was with the CARBINE, which if you got a headshot, it would basically be a 2-hit shot for a headshot. Next we move on, and I believe finally, to the shotguns. So, for the first shotgun we have the Winchester 1897. The Winchester seems like a fun shotgun to use. This pump-action shotgun leads its weapon class and damage, almost guaranteeing one-shot kills in close-quarter engagements. The Winchester also might remind some fans of the 1897 trench gun from World at War. Now, I never really used the shotguns, and I don't really think I did use shotguns in the beta, but I know that I really had a strong hate for shotguns in the beta, and that's because of the special kind of perk you get from the shotgun division. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's the Expeditionary Division, and that basically gives you a perk for like incendiary rounds, which basically when you shoot a target it catches on fire, and that would be really annoying because they had 4 shots to use, and that was extremely annoying. But I think they might have nerfed it down to 2 during the last minutes of the beta. I'm not really sure, but as it says, it does really good with damage. And yeah, so the second shotgun we have is the M30 LUFTWAFFE drilling. As you guys can see here, it's basically kind of like an old style double barrel shotgun. This looks very similar to the double barrel shotgun from World at War for obvious reasons. Although the Luftwaffe has the lowest damage statistic in the class, it makes up for that with the highest fire rate for shotguns. It'll be difficult for any enemies to walk away after getting hit by 2 bullets from this gun. So like I said, it doesn't really have the best damage in the class, but it really makes up for it with basically the highest fire rate of the shotguns. And the last shotgun and the last weapon we're going to be reviewing is the toggle action. The toggle action is the only semi-automatic shotgun currently in the beta, and it's also the most accurate weapon in this class. This is definitely the most forgiving shotgun in the beta. If you miss any shots, you have a decent chance to recover and still pick up the kill. Judging from what it says, it doesn't really have the best damage, but for the person on the other side of the shotgun, the person who's getting shot at, you most likely would have a chance to survive. But yeah, so those are all of the weapons in Call of Duty World War II. So I actually think we are going to go on to the basic trainings, which we have quite a few here. So let's just get started. So for the first perk / basic training, we have Launched, which allows you to take a launcher as a secondary weapon and resupply it from enemies killed without explosives. So it's just as it says, but the second perk / basic training, and I'm just going to call them perks from now on, is motorcycle, is Lookout. Enemy targets appear from further away and increased minimap coverage. So it's basically as it said. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that. The third, or the next one, is Hustle. Reload faster and while sprinting. The next one is Forage. Resupply bullets from enemies and reload faster. Then we have Rifleman. Take 2 primary weapons and switch faster. Which is, I believe I used Rifleman once or twice. but I think one that I really liked is coming up. And so the next one is Duelist. Take 2 attachments on your secondary weapon. Then we have Gunslinger, which is fire weapons while sprinting and diving. Now, Gunslinger is I believe it's a perk that they added in towards the middle of the first beta, which was actually a really good perk to use, and it's as it says, it allows you to fire weapons while sprinting and diving, which is actually really good for close quarter gun battles. So if you're running and someone comes to your right, you can just automatically either hit fire them depending on which gun you're using. But it was actually one of my favorite perks to use in the beta. So the next perk we have is Espionage. Enemy score streaks and enemies' damage appear on minimap. The next one we have is Requisition. Score streaks don't reset on death, but cost more and can be earned only once. Then we have Bang. Take extra lethal and Mark II fragmentation lethal. Then we have Steady, immune to shell shock and tactical equipment, and sprint for longer distances. Then we have Phantom, quieter movement, take no fall damage, and invisible to enemy recon aircraft while moving. Hunker, reveal enemy equipment and take less explosive damage. Ordnance, score streaks cost less and able to re-roll care package. Now this is another one that I used in the beta and it was really good. So if you got like a lower level score streak from a care package, you could actually re-roll it, and it would most likely give you a better score streak than what you had. So let's say you had a recon aircraft, but you sort of wanted a let's say a mortar barrage, I believe it was called, or you at least wanted something better than the recon aircraft. You could just re-roll it and it would most likely give you something better. But yeah, that is a pretty good perk to use, especially if you want to get something better out of a care package. The next perk we have is Smoked. Carry extra lethal equipment and smoke grenade as tactical equipment. Then we have Loaded. Carry extra weapon magazine, reloads weapons faster. Then we have Scope. Move faster while aiming down sights, extra attachments on primary weapon, which seems like another good basic training. And then our final basic training is Undercover. Kill without revealing enemy death locations, and no name or reticle color change when targeted. And to be honest, I never really used many of these basic trainings, mainly just the ones that I unlocked first. But the thing that kind of sucks is that you can only use one basic training. But that's pretty much all I got for this video, guys. So hopefully you guys can take this information that I've given you, and hopefully it was helpful, and hopefully you guys can make a pretty good class whenever World War II fully releases. But and I do plan on making other videos, and you guys will be seeing other videos probably the next day after this is uploaded. I do plan on doing daily uploads, depending on how things go. But yeah, so like I said, that's all the time I have for this video. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to make sure you get notified the next time I upload a video. So anyways, guys, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.